Hello, everybody, and welcome to Feed the Beast. This is episode, if I'm not mistaken, 7, and it's just getting better as we go. See you in a minute.
How do you fill in this blank page? Join your hosts, Ted and John, in the quest to create conflicts, characters, storylines, all that is needed to feed the beast.
Good day, everybody. My name's Ted Davies. I'm an artist and author, best known for Retrieve and Grimm 101. So, how about you? Who's this animating guy over here?
I'm John Celestre. I'm a 45-plus year veteran of classical animation and comic book self-publishing. And I'm best known for animating the first appearance of Boba Fett in the Star Wars Holiday Special, working on Dragon's Lair and Space Ace, and a whole bunch of other things. Just look me up on the Google machine. And
Yeah.
And I'm working on the Bloodwing Angel Chronicles, my series, and I'm now up to 120 pages in that. And so that's where we are.
That's awesome. Legend in the making. Legend in the making. Always. And it's always a pleasure. So what are we working on today, man? We got a pretty good episode, I know. But.
Yeah, and now that the previous episodes have worked on the thumbnails and how the molding process is, at least to get down the first elements of my story, now we're going on to actually doing the rough pages, and I'll show you the cleanup. So we'll do page by page from this point on, where we're doing the rough page, the layout, and then we're going to show the cleanup. And there is a big difference between the two. Won't do the color because at this point it's not necessary. It's not storytelling.
Right.
Okay,
cool. All right, well, let's get to it.
Okay.
Awesome.
And here we are. Okay, so let's scroll up here, back and forth here. This here is the first rough that I did of the the first thumbnail idea and everything. We walked through that previously, but let's go to the layout. Now you can see this here. I drew this up as a full size, the print size of what the page would look like. It's rough.
Okay.
It's not once again, I'm doing everything there. I'm playing with the setting up, the tone, the atmosphere. I'm putting in, we'll just go scrolling up here a bit.
That looks great, though.
Yeah. I mean, the 1717 Club, you could see the demon head, the tongue, the title here of what the series is, and some blood dripping down here. Okay, you've got the title here of Midnight Special. That's the title. The byline. Let's see, down here in the cement on the sidewalk. You can see my byline, John Celestre here.
Awesome. Yeah.
Okay.
Very subtle. Yep.
Very subtle. And then we have the awning, and basically it sells. It says sex, drugs, rock and roll. It's the club. So trying with this first page, the first panel, which is kind of a semi-splash page, to set the tone of what this atmosphere, what this world is all about. And you've got to get that in before you do anything else. It's classic storytelling, but without trying to describe every word, every bit.
Right.
So then we'll go to the first two panels, and to set where we're going, we want to go inside of this doorway here. So what I've done is I used the word balloons. and you
Okay.
see the tail of the word balloon snaking out of the entrance.
Got it.
Then it leads you, tap that lid on good and tight. There's your dialogue here. It's like a muffled, or there's dialogue that's over. It's almost like it's like a superimpose or as a
Right.
voiceover.
Hmm.
Well, then we have a link up here straight to the next word balloon, which is tailing inside.
I see. Okay.
Okay. And
Hmm.
that's what that is. So what's happening here is, once again, we've got, here, there's hammering going on. There's a big oil drum or of some sort,
Hmm.
and you've got two characters going on, and I think that's pretty, self-explanatory here with what's happening. There's a lot of banging, tapping, and trying to
Hmm.
get a good, bit of action and energy into this.
Now I noticed on that, if I can interrupt for a second,
Yeah.
you've got blues, you've got reds, you've got some blacks. Is there indications why you do that? Just for people that don't know.
Okay. Well, I use maybe about 3 different pencils
Hmm.
to do this. A lot of times I'll do with blue. It's my first line, and then I'll start playing around with a superimposition. Now you haven't seen it on this page here because in up here, all of this. Well, yeah, you do it. You have here.
Hmm.
Here's your red, blue,
Hmm.
green, and black. And what it is I'm molding. So for different things, for example, I say, okay, I'm drawing here, and I'm starting with the blue, and I'm not happy with obviously I'm not happy with that. I'll
Hmm.
start. I'll throw red on top of that, or green. Just start molding that around, and then black line is where I'm happiest
Got it.
with it, and that's from animation of the classical side, where you're drawing on top of one sheet of paper, also these various workings, and
Hmm.
you're not cleaning it up yet. We'll throw another sheet of paper on top of that, and then I might even mold it even more so.
Got it. Didn't want to interrupt. I just,
No,
just
fine. This is
it's
all part.
interesting.
This is
Mhm.
all of the process that we're doing here. It's just so that you can see, why I'm doing what I'm doing. So
Mhm.
here you have here. Now you'll see that in this instance, it looks like I've got somebody else that's looking in, maybe
Mm.
with a little cigarette or smoke or whatnot. That's the idea that I had.
Okay.
But once again, I'm playing. I'm really trying to work out what we've all the and you'll notice it's all pure energy.
Mhm.
I don't care about the form. It's a rough form.
Mhm.
It's not the model. So I'm just going with the animation line of action here. For example, you'll note just hold this down here. You'll look here. That
Mhm.
is the arc. That is a vector. And that's in that position here. The elbow is here somewhere. Then there's another vector where the hammering is going in.
Mhm.
So it's a back and forth occurring, but it's a elbow. It's doing that without worrying about where the elbow should be.
Right.
Just pure energy, and that's what we're going for at this stage of the drawing. Okay. Then, okay, so we've got this, we've made the connection. We've done a transition
Mhm.
from the exterior, from
Mhm.
the exterior to the interior.
Got it.
Okay, so we set up the camera cut. Okay, so now in this case, we now have another action now it's happening. He's doing his little chef's kiss. Yeah, gives it a subtle tang, and the other guy is rolling the barrel back, and he says, "Pour me a shot of B on the rocks." And he says, okay, what is B? Well, we have the connection of A on here. So you've got that, hey, A, I want B on the rocks.
Got it.
Dialogue here is very spare. When he says, and the bartender says, okay. This is the bartender here. So, and this is all the energy here. And what I'm getting is I'm getting placement, of images, eye directions. You've got here. So immediately you're going from this dialogue here to this person. Then eye goes right to there. You're not going to go there. You're going to go straight here.
Yeah.
Go there. And then you've got to that is the first, the next line of dialogue is his here, and then he's underneath it with that.
Got it.
Okay.
It's very subtle, but yeah, I can see how it just moves, flows so easily. Yeah.
And that's the thing, is that you're not confused.
Mm-hmm.
You know where it's going. Okay.
Right.
Okay. So now let's pull this back, and we're going to go now to the finished line art.
Okay.
Does that come across?
Mm-hmm. Very well.
Okay.
Yep.
I just want to see. Yeah. Okay. So let's. So now you can see how the thick and thin. I'm now playing. I did a number of things that's subtly different, but now I let my pencil drawing. I don't trace, and that is where the performance comes into play. The pencil is performing whatever you use, and that is my. This is going to be my. I'm using my thick and thins. I'm using cross hatching. This is all hand lettering also.
I have
not used any of that. Now, I really believe everybody should learn how to hand letter.
I agree. I agree totally. Yep.
And so this is where you start, getting a sense of what differentiates one person's work from another. Okay.
I agree. Yep.
Also, in this case here, with let's just roll it up a bit here. There's a thick and thinness going on here, but I'm doing little cross hatchings inside, so that it doesn't feel like it's going to be a flat,
right?
A flat area when you color it. A little subtle cross hatchings just to give some feeling of shape, and that. In the background, you'll notice it's a rougher line, and the reason I'm doing that is because it's concrete. So I'm trying to give it a little bit of texture that's a little different, and also giving it a roughness, concrete, sidewalk, masonry here. And then somebody wrote this guy's name down in the concrete here. So
like I said, it's subtle, but it works. It's great.
Yeah. So now we'll go to the performance, and now you'll note that there was a guy here before, and he's no longer there. In the previous space there, he was there. He's no longer. I don't need him. It just gets in the way. Because I've also made the mallet a little bigger. Everything is a little bit different, and so now you've got multiple images, with the hand, and there again. This is all the bang bang bang. That's all hand lettered.
Yep.
special effects should be hand lettered. That's what I look at, because
Yeah.
everybody uses the same fonts. And so
Understood.
where
Understood.
is your individuality? You know, dialogue, you can do dialogue, which is great. You know, it saves you a lot. But once again, that's the only mechanical aspect of it. I draw these lines for the borders. They were hand ruled.
Oh yeah, I believe that, and
Yeah.
that's great. That's awesome. I like the way that the one character actually goes outside the frame too, on the right there.
Oh yeah, there's a
The
little bit here.
hairline,
Yes. Oh yeah, I
the
do.
hairline on the other character as well.
Yeah,
The one that's holding the
you've got,
dolly.
if you go down here, you'll note
Yeah.
there's a break in there, just because it allows for feeling of just a little break, the fourth wall.
Yeah.
But it takes so much. It keeps the images from being static.
Understood. It keeps that movement. Yeah.
And yes, and it does keep that movement. It breaks your eye. You go, oh,
Yeah.
there's a weight in it. There's a weight to this. Same thing here. You know, there's a little bit of an elbow. You note there. You know, right here, it breaks. So we have this. Now we have our various characters. Now we have our bartender. And you note here, in this case here, I don't complete.
Right.
There.
Right.
Because it lends itself to breaking through and say, okay, what's happening next? And also, in this case, I actually did this one with numbering the page by hand. In this case,
got it.
I just decided to do that.
Sure.
For this,
That's good,
for the
though.
7 pages. Yes.
I mean, it's lending itself too to flip the page. You're allowing the eye and I mean everything that you're trying to do there is just with the word bubbles, everything. It's just very subtle.
It's all very subtle, and it should be subtle because to be, it's too. It should not feel mechanical.
Yeah.
And that's what that allows the energy to flow. It differentiates you as an artist from everybody else.
Yeah.
So, okay, well, let's go to if there's anything else that you can see about this before I go to the next page.
I mean, it makes sense to me, but again, I'm in the field, so I want people that are and if you guys have any questions during the course of this and you want to put them in the comments, go ahead and we'll review it on the next show. But interesting, just it's fascinating, the very subtleties that I learned something about. This is amazing. So it's very enjoyable.
Okay, well, now let's go to the next page 2. And so this was originally what we did. I know we've seen all the thumbnails and the little thumbnails and all the various page, notations. So now this is the rough. Let's just pull that back up a little bit so that you can see all that we're doing here. And again, it's all this time. It's all blues and reds, and then blacks. And once again, this time you'll note that, and I'll do this very quick. I'll go through this here. You've got the bartender. Well, now setting up, he's pouring, a shot of B, and that's notation here. And he's going, the guy's got horns. Now that we've set that up, and that's his little bar behind him. Then he turns around and he says, "Hey, boss, we're also running low on B." Okay, so we've got our setup here. Here's boss, the snake eyes, smoke coming out of his cigar that way. The next one is, okay, Cherry. Yeah, okay, Cherry, sniff one out. And then there's Cherry. You got it, Snake Eyes. And then, hey, give me a shot. So you've got a 1, 2, 3. The line is going that direction.
Mm-hmm.
We're not trying to get somebody to come in and do a line. It is all straightforward, easily this way. Then transition-wise, the smoke from his cigar now frames this page, this next panel.
That's cool.
Trying to do things. I mean, there'll be we'll do when we see the black and the line art completed. Then we'll see. So it's the character is saying here, "Hey, give me a shot." Oh, Pixie, honey, you know your cute little nose can distinguish only one vintage. She's always like, ah, So there is that aspect, and once again, it's all this is. If you'll note, it's all pure energy in terms of vectors and how the line work is going.
Got it.
Same thing here. And then, there's still, there's a lineup going here where her arm is on the shoulder and her elbow is into a very, you go from, very, supportive and just a comforting gesture, and she's being defiant with her elbow.
Yeah.
Right. And so you still have that going on.
Sure.
And then there's the kiss on the nose with a little heart, and then a lot of shaking. Like a little, very I don't know, sparks are flying there.
Yep.
And then we go to the second, the last panel. There is this other guy here who now is playing, shuffling cards. He says, "Get us a ripe one." And she says, "Don't I always?" And back there you could see.
It's got some type of dramatic irony to where you're almost knowing what the story, you know what I mean? But you haven't been told it yet.
Yeah.
So that as the audience, that's that's awesome.
Well, with the dog, the thing is that we're not spending a lot of time in any kind of exposition. That is not necessary at all. Let the characters tell the story. Follow in. You're a fly on the wall, and you're just trying to figure out, or you're trying to, hear what they're going to say. So they're telling each other, but in a conversational way.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, okay. So we're going to go to, now that we've done this here is now
very cool.
The line art of this. I'll just show that whole page. You can see all that. Okay. So now we'll go and get to this here. This is where the performance comes in. The performance is this face, looking at just a close up here. Once again, he's not just holding onto the spigot. He's got a very dainty, manner about him. There's a little more cultivated aspect to him and such. Again, he's looking at And again, the arched eyebrow and the quizzical look. And again, everything is played. Again, we've got our little tattoos here. You've got a lot of cross hatching going on, and indicating a form and shape, and a little bit of subtlety for to make it feel a little more rounded. I try not to put too much line work into anything. And in this case, I don't, again, it's a very cartoony style, but it lends itself to being an underground feel to the artwork. So I don't, I mean, I'll for things of this nature, trying to get a feeling of side and then thickness here, same way here. Well, I did rule this across, but then I sort of hand drew it.
Yeah.
That way you could see it's not, it's not a perfect line.
No.
In any way, shape, or form.
It's a worn counter over the years. It's an older place.
Yes.
So yeah.
And so you try and give a little bit here, little napkins here with the 1717 Club, trying to giving a little feeling for what's occurring. Again, there's no realism here. There's no naturalistic feeling, but a believability to what's being poured.
Right.
Here we go too. Hey boss, we're also running low on barrel B. And then so you could see him looking back across. And then here's Snake Eyes. A very Dick Tracy style.
Cool, yeah, I like the lines though. That's cool though.
Yeah. And that's the thing, is that again, the thickness and the thick and thinness about this. Now I've done this with with pencil and then scanned it and put it in to this is the cleanup that way. So what I've done is sometimes with my pencil I may not get the exact thick and thinness I want on the paper, but I'll just go over it again and just add lines onto it, a thickness, just to say I think I need it here, because in this particular case, running the same pencil width will just lose it. So you want this to pop.
Yeah. And you're giving depth to it. Yeah. I mean, everything about it.
Everything about it is just trying to do it that way. Again, with the bar stool, simple design here. Again, it's your 1960s underground Robert Crumb kind of thing.
Yeah, it's great though.
Yeah.
It's subtle, but it's definitely it's awesome. It's awesome.
Okay, and so now with this here, we now can see the performance is in the design. He's got really bad teeth. The playing with his ears and his stubble and the mohawkish cut. A really motley, even the cigar's character. Yeah. Yes, you try and give everybody something. Same way with Cherry. She's looking eye focus from character to character. You have to maintain eye focus for believability.
Yeah.
And again, don't worry about the perfection. It is pretty, I worked hard on this, but I'm not making things, exactly anatomically correct.
Right.
But the flow is now, I've got the shoulder here that goes, there's the nape of there's the neck here, and then there's one that stretches across from here, goes over to the side of the head, and then this is broken by the chin, but it's kind of a giraffe-ish feel without actually having to place that jaw line completing here. Yeah. It just allows you to have the energy of what's going on. And then when you do this here, you can see the S curve that's happening
right
all over. And so we'll have here again with a Pixie is coming in, and she's really strutting herself. You can see a crossover. I don't know if you can catch that.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay, and so again, she's very much into what's going on. So again, now you have a performance happening with the characters. Again, eye contact, very much of a, play with, leaning the shoulder down again.
Mm-hmm.
There's a very much of a, again, curve this way here. So you could see where the force of the body is leaning into her.
Right. It's almost a condescending,
It's a very condescending
you know,
look to it, even though she's trying to be sort of what's the word, consoling
yeah.
gesture here. It's still condescending. It's
Mhm.
my boobs are bigger than yours. I'm this and that, and
Mhm.
she's very young. She's young, and
You're
then
just a kid.
it's
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
playing again. Once again, it all plays out.
Mhm. It's
Now,
all positioning, literally, not
yeah,
just
it is.
figuratively, but yeah.
It's all positioning, and that's the everything.
Mhm.
And then once again, just a little bit about the dialogue here is usually, I mean, for me, anytime I've got somebody doing a dialogue, calling somebody's name out, I'll put
Mhm.
that in dark.
Mm.
Same
That's
way
cool.
here,
Yeah.
in bold. And
Okay.
then, then you get to play with emphasis of, that only one.
Mhm. Got it.
And so here we have the sparks are flying,
Yep.
literally, and that way everything is again breaking the boundary line here, the
Mhm.
border with this.
Mhm.
Again, arch here. There's all of this. The force is going up against here, and then you've got that. So you have that as a form against that. So, um, yeah, fingers, splayed just as a surprise.
Mhm.
Uh, yeah, again, a little heart going up there. Even her eyebrows, her eyelashes are sparking out. Same way for this, hair everywhere,
Got it.
and the skirt flares out from the reaction. Again, it's caricature.
Mhm.
And so now we have the last panel is, and we will lead her from this because basically, it's here to that, to her, reacting in the background, where you say, "Oh, what kind of relationship do they have?" If
Yeah,
she's
right.
got all of her hearts out there, what
Yeah.
relationship does she have? It's a very relaxed feeling with her, like,
Mhm.
oh, again, the sweep. She's not just standing there. She's got her hips going. The whole thing is just very S-curvy-ish.
Mhm.
Then this gentleman here is get us a ripe one. I don't need to tell who this guy is. It's not necessary at this
Right.
point, but you can tell that he's one of the characters there. He's
Right.
shuffling cards. We've got our sound effects, shuffle, shuffle, and I thought it was a really interesting thing to give him a bow tie,
Sure.
and really, he's kind of a redheaded,
Mhm.
curly, kinky hair with freckles and buck teeth and jug ears.
Mhm.
And then there she is, Cherry saying, "Don't I always?" And here's, we've got, now we sort of really played with her hair in this
Mhm.
case here, off the shoulder straps. And once again, she's got her, going to be the sandwich board midnight special, no cover. And that's the performance of pages 1 and 2.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, that's really watching it put together is a real, it's a real statement about your talent, but the history that you've had, what you've done. I mean, it's awesome. it's not an easy thing to accomplish. And what you've done here, I think you've shown a wealth of it just in 2 pages. Well done.
So
Well done.
good. Well, so once again, as I said, I thought this whole series is important to me,
Mhm.
for me, as somebody who doesn't get a chance to have an assistant or anybody to show this. You can come to this to these videos and see over my shoulder what my thought process was, my creative processes. You find some other ways of doing it, but you know what? You don't see people actually doing it and showing you all of their material that they go through and explain to you why they did it, and you can see what they've done.
Right.
And that is the important thing.
And the
Yeah.
technique of it all and putting it together to the point where it's duplicatable in some regards, not everything, but the majority of it's duplicatable that you've taught, that you've shown people to take the
Yeah.
idea.
There's no reason that you cannot follow or use this as a guide to find your own process.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's the important thing.
And I think that's very true. You do find your own process, find your own style. Don't be afraid of that, because I think that's people live their lives trying to find their own style, and this is a great avenue
Yeah.
to do that, to learn,
Yeah.
to find out what you're comfortable with and what your love is, and which lines you like, and so forth. But fantastic,
Yeah.
John, fantastic. So, what do we got for the next one? What do we have for the next
Well, the next one we will continue on. We've got 5 more pages,
Mhm.
and that will then, at the rate we're going, it feels like maybe about 2 pages a week or a session.
Right.
That way you can see it, and then we'll do the last one, and then maybe have a wrap up. On the 7th page we rest.
And and then we'll see if during that duration we have somebody in the comments.
Yes,
Maybe
and
they've
we
got
can.
something, find out a little bit more about what they're doing, and maybe we make some suggestions. If they have any questions.
Yep.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, it's been a pleasure, man, as usual. So
Oh, cool.
I've got to write. I know you've got to write and draw, and I've got to draw too. So
Yep. Okay, we'll carry on.
Let's end it on a good note. We will
Yep.
see you soon, man. All right.
See ya.
Talk to you soon. Thanks.
How do you fill in this blank page? Join your hosts, Ted and John, in the quest to create conflicts, characters, storylines, all that is needed to feed the beast.